Good morning, everyone. Actually, happy Monday. It is, oh my gosh, can you believe this? Can you believe that Thanksgiving is just right around the corner? It's the weirdest thing. And actually, where did I go? I had to go to the paper store yesterday. And for those of you who have not been in the paper store, let me tell you, it's a great store. They sell cards, but they really don't focus on cards, let's be honest. They more so focus on clothing. It's so weird. It's a Hallmark store, but they have a lot of clothing, um, candles, food, food in a card store, who knew about that? But it's a real thing. So, and to get my card, should I do this? I'm gonna try. Let's see. See if anything happens. Well, nothing happened. All right, good. So I had to get a card, and I'm just trying to put you guys on here so I can see if there's any comments. Good morning to Tanya and Cindy. How are you? And Kathy Bailey, thank you for being here. Oh my gosh. Hi. Hi. Welcome, everyone. So, what the heck was my point? Al goes, "Is that a nice store inside?" Because I just leave him in the car. I just say, Just stay there because there's no point." And I said, "Yeah, it's like the old Hallmark store." Now, do you guys remember? You probably do. Or I used to love going to the Hallmark store. I used to get stickers. I used to when I was a kid, right? But there were a lot of cards in the Hallmark store because Hallmark is a card store. It's a card maker, a card company. But it's not like that anymore. In the paper store, man, you can drop some coin in there. They have a lot of like Lily Pulitzer things. Oh, for $150, you can get this really nice Lily Pulitzer tote bag. No, I do like getting their clearance stuff anyway. I do like that. So when they have their 75% off sale and it's always in the back of the store, like all the clearance people, you get yourself to the back of the store. We don't want you up here. We want you back there. I've gotten some cute things. I don't buy a lot anymore. Al and I are going through our stuff again. Al's having a yard sale this week. Do you believe he's going to call it Black Friday yard sale because he's going to do a Friday and Saturday. We're trying a lot of things in life we're trying to do. And one of the things is we're trying to clear out my old eBay inventory. And boy, I got good stuff. Like I have good taste. When I've been out shopping in other people's yards, I've picked out some good things, but they've been sitting online for years, and there's no point for me to keep paying for them to sit online. I'm just going to blow it out. And well, like I've told you guys before, we have a few yard sales we're going to have to do, which is fine. And this should be a good one. I mean, my God, I like to sell clothes and shoes. Like that's been my thing. Boy, I have a lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff. $5 for shoes. I'll charge $10 for the like knee-high boots. It's ridiculous. I mean, I've accumulated a lot, but it's time to clear a lot of it out, move on so we don't have to worry about it. What else was I gonna I don't know. Well, all right. So Tanya said I worked in a Hallmark store when she was a teenager. Boy, you were lucky. You're a lucky girl because I would have bought everything if I had worked there when I was a teenager. I did work. What did I do? York Steakhouse. I did that, and I thought I was being funny one day. I always loved the microphone. I think I was born loving the microphone because York Steakhouse had a microphone. You number 1, come get your order. Number 69, come get your order. We'd be like stupid teenagers. And they had the triangle things you put on the table. So one day I just thought it was being really cute, and I don't know. I was just saying stuff in the microphone. So stupid. So stupid. Anywho, for those of you who don't know, we lost Louie, my little buddy Louie, on Thursday morning. I wasn't going to do a show this morning. I got ready, and then I said to Al, and I started crying. I said, I can't. And then I said, no, I'm going to. No, I can't. Yes, I'm going to. No, I can't. I just have to get back into the swing of things. I didn't post it anywhere but on my own personal page. I just couldn't. I'll post something in the community tab here, but the show is for Louis. Yeah, so that's been a tough one, and my back was so bad last week, I can't even describe it to you. Like, I could barely move. I could barely move, so everything rolled into one. It was a crappy week. Anywho, I want you guys to have a good day. We're just gonna sit here and chat for a few minutes and move forward. Again, I hope you're all doing well. I hope you had a great weekend, and now it's time to head into the short week, Thanksgiving week. What are you guys doing? Let me know in the comments below. Al and I are having ham. We're not even having a turkey because there's been so many amazing ham recipes on TikTok. I'm going to do the spiral ham with canned pineapple rings, brown sugar, and butter. I'm like, dude, that is dessert for dinner. So that's what we're doing and nothing else. Okay. Oh, and we got to get ready for the yard sale on Friday morning. I know. It's insane, like, why? But you know what? It's gonna be in the 40s. I said, Dal, do you really wanna move forward with this? He's like, Yep, we're doing it. So okay. He says we're doing it, we're doing it. All right, moving forward to what we're going to chat about today. The first thing is Gene Simmons, the one thing he regrets about Ace Frehley. And this is from rockandrollgarage.com. And when did Gene say? Gene just said this at the Kiss Cruise event in Las Vegas. The one thing Gene regrets about Ace, he said, if I have any regrets, my hand to God, it's that I sometimes, and I think we all go through this sometimes, wish we were smarter and better at trying to help Ace and Peter have better lives. Let's just continue doing the tour because you want to get through it for selfish reasons, because it's working and the chicks and the money, and you don't want to ruin anything. Meantime, somebody who might be your brother is ruining their life by bad decisions. Tough love is a good idea, in my opinion, with your children, with the people you love, with the people you care about, with the people you work with. It's not going to be a popular thing, or you're going to argue about it, but in the long run, you're going to be helping that person hopefully change their life. She whacked me on the butt, but my mother quit smoking, and that's what it's about. And Gene had said this, I guess, to People magazine, but this is being quoted in Rock and Roll Garage. Here's what I have to say about that. You cannot always have tough love with somebody. It's not always going to go the way you want it to go. I've done that. I did that with my mom, God rest her soul. I didn't talk to her for 3 weeks. I'll never forget this. This is why, you know, some things do work for people, some people it doesn't work for. I was so mad because she had been diagnosed with possible lung cancer at that point. And this is why I had done it. And she still continued to smoke. I didn't talk to her for 3 weeks. Mind you, we lived in the same house. I mean, I was still a teenager. I was in my late teens. It didn't matter. She says, I'm not going to stop. You're not going to make me stop. Because we finally, I said, listen, let's just not do this anymore. I loved her so much. She was my best friend as well. And it did not make her stop. And also, you know, we've tried tough love with some other people in our lives. It just doesn't work. I mean, if it works, maybe it works for Gene because people on the other end of the tough love know that there might be a jackpot at the end of the rainbow. And I'm sorry I said it, but I did. I mean, they might be agreeing with him for ulterior motives. Me, I got nothing. So I had nothing to lose. And it just didn't work. It has not worked for us doing the tough love thing. So if it has worked for you, I think that's great. But I think for a majority of people, it does not work. And you know what Peter and Chris, how they chose to Peter and Chris. That equals Peter Chris. With Peter and Ace, they chose to live their lives a certain way. And hopefully people around them were telling them to not do that. and they weren't listening to them. So you just have to wonder, could Gene have made a difference? Maybe, but probably not. Because at the end of the day, Peter and Ace weren't even in the End of the Road tour. So I don't know about that whole thing. I'm just gonna, again, as I sit here in this chair, I just say what's on my mind. I don't think twice about it. It just spews out. And let's see, Ace is going to be, well, not Ace himself, but his estate is going to be auctioning off his Smoker Gibson Les Paul guitar. It was used during Kiss's 1999 Psycho Circus and 2000 farewell tours. Farewell tours in 99 and 2000. How many times did Kiss tour between then and last year or 2023? Oh my goodness. Isn't that funny? How did they have 5 or 6 farewell tours? They had a few. Well, that guitar, that smoking guitar that Ace used, is currently up for auction at gottahaverockandroll.com. The auction began on November 19th. It ends on December 25th. It includes a letter of authenticity and has a starting bid of $100,000. So let's see where it's at. Why not? Gotta Have Rock and Roll. Gotta Have Rock and Roll. Let's see. There it is. Going there. Auction, view current auction. Okay. Where is it? Oh, Judas Priest has an auction there. Let's see. Heavily stage used and stained class, British steel and Sad Wings of Destiny studio recording used, 1967 Gibson Flying V guitar, KK Downing collection. No bids, minimum bid 180,000, but there's no bids on it. A Keith Moon owned and heavily stage used Chinese cymbal, pasty, Paiste, paiste. It's like those drum things on a circle stand. That minimum bid is 100,000. No bids yet, and no bids on Ace's guitar. Minimum bid 75,000. Current bid none. So is this something people are going to hop in on at the last minute? I don't know. I would think so. Okay, so let's see. Oh, okay. So there's a bunch here. I would go take a look at this. Gottahaverockandroll.com. Kind of interesting. So the two things I'm seeing right off the bat that have bids, but there's more stuff. I just haven't scrolled down. A Pete Townsend owned, stage used, and smashed. The guitar is like literally in half. Coral Hornet guitar from 11/29/67 concert. Minimum bid 15,000. There is one bid. I mean, imagine that, $15,000 for half a guitar. It's literally half a guitar, but that's not the point. The point is that Pete Townsend used it. I have to wipe my nose. Sorry. And then lot 11, Eddie Van Halen, 11/19/2004, signed and stage used Charvel Art Series red, black, and white striped guitar, hand striped by Eddie Van Halen. Minimum bid 15 grand, one bid on that. Wow. There's a whole bunch of stuff on here. Oh, there's a bid on Axl Rose's November Raincoat from the music video. Minimum bid 10 grand, and there's one bid on that. David Bowie, a 1990 played and band signed Gibson guitar during Sound and Visions tour. $20,000 bid, one bid on that. Oh, a Cher outfit designed by Bob Mackie. Minimum bid 12 grand. There's one bid on that. Three bids on a Jimi Hendrix and band signed Experience album. Three bids, minimum bid 5 grand. Current bid is at 6 grand. They're estimating it to go between 30 and 50,000. Wow. There's a whole bunch of stuff on here. So kind of interesting. Take a look if you want. We'll see how Ace's guitar goes, but I mean, 100,000 starting bid, that's, I mean, I'm not saying it's not worth it, but wow. I think it's easier to get people to come in when the starting bid is lower. But then they're probably afraid it's not going to sell for as much, but the goal is to have people bid, right? All right. Let's see. Hey Barry, good morning. Thank you, Tanya. You're so sweet. Kathy, good morning. Valion, how are you? Did I say hi to Sherry? Hi, Sherry. Thank you so much. And thank you, Kathy. You guys are very sweet. Thank you. Thank you. And moving on to this. So I guess Nikki Sixx was angry at fans who were saying on X, formerly known as Twitter, that Vince Neil is washed up. And this article is from parade.com. Rock icon who's 66 loses it on fans calling Vince Neil washed up. Don't you call my friend washed up. I mean, let's be honest. Let's just be honest. Vince is not in his prime. However, the guy has been through a lot. 4 strokes from what I've read, allegedly. 4 strokes. And that's why, I told you guys a while ago, I did this whole video comparing him to David Lee Roth, and I'm like, I'm not doing it. I'm not releasing the video because then I felt so bad when I found out he's had 4 strokes. Now, Motley Crue did just announce recently that they'll be doing a 2026 summer tour, and Nikki just hopped on and was berating fans because they were making fun of Vince. The tour is going to feature Tesla and Extreme. And, people are already talking about Vince's vocals, his ability. I mean, to be honest, and it's not being mean, his vocal ability is not there. Let's be honest, okay? So one fan had said on X, Vince needs to get in shape and fix his voice first. Well, Nikki came on and responded to that fan and said, "Did you hear him in Vegas? He sounded solid and badass." And he made it clear he was not entertaining any negativity about his bandmate. Well, that's the internet. I mean, I swear people love death and negativity more than anything else. They really do. It's the weirdest thing. Like, there is a humongous YouTuber, Stephen Gardner. He just talks about Trump now. And I don't even know if his old videos are on his channel. They might be, but literally all he did was talk about good news. And I liked watching him. I did. But once he transitioned and just started talking about all the crap that's going on and talking about President Trump, literally his channel blew up because it's all about the crappy stuff that's going on all around us. Right? So weird. I would think that brings you down, man. You know what I mean? Just talking about crappy stuff all the time. I don't know. You got to do you, and you got to be who you want to be, but I don't know, man. But you also got to be real, and okay, we'll just move on. So the Vegas dates were Vince's first shows since suffering multiple strokes in late December of last year. And the band had put out there was a medical emergency. Fans were, of course, worried about Vince, like, what's going on? I mean, even about Ace, though they were saying, there's some things, everything's going to be fine. Well, it wasn't fine in the end. But we know Vince is semi-fine because he's out there. So Vince did just talk to Eddie Trunk. I have a little clip from that. And he said that running across the humongous stage is difficult. But as each night went on, he was doing better and better and better. Now, I guess, let's see, people were also talking about Mick Mars on Twitter, and Nikki responded again saying that Let's see. Remember, Mick retired because his health could not handle life on the road. We all understand that. So why would you want to put him through it again? He reminded a fan. The whole thing with Mick Mars. What's actually going on with that? We should take a look. Mick Mars. Let's see if there's anything new, because it's been kind of quiet. He was suing the band, right? Pretty sure. Okay, so this is a post about. Oh, darn it. Okay. So this was a post that, Nikki, I guess, did put out just on a few days ago, 4 days ago, November 20th. And, fans were really just going after him, saying that Mick Mars should join. And Nikki just came out and said, no, it's not going to happen. But Mick, there's nothing really out about Mick right now. So we don't know. We don't really know what's going on. Very, very quiet. Let's go to Mick's website. Is there anything new on there? Let's see. No, nothing. Nothing new. Just Mick sitting there. We'll keep our eyes open on that. With Motley Crue going on a summer tour, I'm sure there's going to be stuff that comes out about Mick. So let's go ahead and share this clip of Vince. See, this is from October. So let me go ahead. And, let's see what you guys think about it. Oh, boy. So I'm not sure if you really noticed that, but he wasn't singing, but yet someone was still singing, and there was a lot of echo in there. So again, not throwing knives, just being real. Just being real. He wasn't really singing that. Tons and tons of echo, and there was clearly a voice track because his mouth was closed, but yet there was still singing happening. You do what you got to do, bro. Right? You want to get out there. I don't know. Like, if you're at that point, right? You've been a humongous rock and roll star. And then things medically happen to you. I don't know if I could do it. Get out there, and I know it's in your blood, it's in your heart and your soul, but I don't know. All right, so let's look at this little clip of Vince chatting with Eddie Trunk. Oh, well, it'd be nice if I unmuted it. Here we go.
I've had 4 strokes.
In this period alone?
No, throughout the years. 2 of them I didn't even know I had.
Really?
One of them was like a mini stroke that happened, and I just lost feeling in my hand, and that was it. And I got over that pretty quickly. But then this last one was a big one.
How did they know? How did you know you had the others?
Because they can see it in your brain. It's scarred just right around the same spot where I had 4 scars in my brain that the neurologist said those are all strokes.
So you just learned that now?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, 'cause I can't remember any other time I felt weird or something. They just must have just happened, and just I got over it. Didn't even know it.
So people can have strokes and not know they had one.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow. Unbelievable, man.
Yes, they can. People can have strokes and not know that they've had them. It's scary as all get out. Yes, Vince has had his issues. Yes, he's gained weight. Yes, his voice is not on point. It's just not. I mean, if fans are going to pay to go see him walk around on stage, hold a microphone, and basically try to lip sync, that's really the fan's choice, right? They know what they're getting. Just like, we keep going back to the whole Bon Jovi thing. You knew what you were getting because it was out there that his voice was not on par, but people were still buying the tickets. And I think they're still going to buy the tickets when John goes on tour again. Don Henley. This is from Ultimate Classic Rock. There was a malicious prosecution lawsuit against Don Henley, against him and Irving Azoff. I don't work for him, by the way. Well, that lawsuit has currently been dismissed. There was a rare book dealer who came out, Glenn Horowitz. He sued them for millions and millions and millions of dollars in February after bringing up charges for trying to sell stolen, allegedly, lyrics from their humongous hit, Hotel California. Horowitz claimed that Henley and Azoff had manipulated New York prosecutors into charging him and two other men, former Rock and Roll Hall of Fame curator Craig Inciardi and rock auctioneer Edward Kaczynski, even though they were innocent. The case was abruptly thrown out during trial last year after Henley failed to produce evidence that showed whether the lyrics had been stolen in the first place. I remember reading about this. So the earlier dismissal was based upon the inability of Mr. Horowitz's defense to be presented with certain information. Justice Kathleen Waterman Marshall said, but there's no finding that that information was withheld by Mr. Henley or any of the defendants on an improper purpose. The handwritten notes were in the possession of journalist Ed Sanders, whose proposed 70s era Eagles book went unpublished. And he said Don gave those to him. Sanders then allegedly sold those pieces of paper with lyrics on them to Horowitz, who then sold them to Inciardi and Kaczynski. So it was like a big ring, a lyric ring. Henley came out when he found the lyrics in auction listings, and the trio was indicted in 2022. Henley and Azoff both argued that the criminal case that followed had merit and was simply dismissed on a technicality. And Justice Waterman Marshall agreed. There was ample probable cause for the DA to bring a case against Mr. Horowitz. Indeed, a grand jury indicted Mr. Horowitz based on the DA's independent and years-long investigation. The dismissal of the case at trial after complainant Henley produced documents, none of which were found to exculpate. It's a new word for me. Mr. Horowitz did not result from any bad faith conduct on the part of the defendants and thus does not change this result. Will the decision be appealed? Horowitz, Inciardi, and Kaczynski were accused of conspiring to sell nearly 100 pages of allegedly stolen Eagles lyrics and Henley's handwritten notes, which were collectively valued at more than $1 million. Henley testified 3 times in February of 2024 in a Manhattan courtroom, saying that he bought back some of those pages in 2012, but declined to do so when more pages showed up in 2014 and 2016. And Don said, I had already been extorted once. I wasn't going to do it again. Good for you, Don. Gosh, crazy stuff, right? Totally crazy. So what was the number one song on this day, November 24th of 1985? Can you guess? Do you know? Well, it's from Starship, not Jefferson Airplane, not airplane, not plane, not Jefferson whatever. From Starship, We Built This City. We built this city on rock and roll. November 24th, 1985. That was the number one song on this day back then. What's going to be the number one song on Thanksgiving Day? I don't know. Well, guys, thank you so much. Thank you, Fallion. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for being here. You guys are great. For everybody who reached out, we love you. Love you, Louie. This song, oh my God. This show's for you. See, I wasn't going to do this today. I wasn't even gonna come on. But okay. Love you guys. I will see you soon. Have a good day.